So I think we'll start reclining, lying down on your back. I'm gonna have a pillow. Or pillow. This would be a blanket. I have a blanket that I'm gonna put under my head just to give myself a little bit of cushion. And because my low back's a little bit fussy right now, I'm gonna take constructive rest. So feet to the floor. Feet a little wider than my hips. I'm walking the feet a little bit further out, and then my inner thighs will touch together. If your low back's not being fussy, you can stretch the legs out long and straight in more of a Shavasana position. And the hands can rest where they're comfortable on the belly, alongside the body, anywhere that feels like you can settle in. Notice the breath here as you just allow yourself to get away from the day and any distractions. Or even if there are distractions, can you acknowledge, notice, be with them, and still be with your breath? In and out through the nose if you can. And remembering to take care of you as we move through practice. Maybe setting an intention, a focus for your practice, bringing that to your mind. Beginning to find a little movement when you're ready. Maybe fingers, maybe a stretch, hug, windshield wipers of the knees, whatever would feel good. Just allowing yourself to notice what's going on in the body as you begin to move a little bit. And then with the feet to the floor, knees pointed up, move away anything under the head. So that blanket just kind of scooches further back if you've got that underneath the head. I'm going to bring the hands to the thighs. Press the feet into the floor. Press the low back into the floor. Start to peel your hips up off the floor in a low bridge. And we'll hold here for a few breaths. So the bridge is low, just getting those glutes, those butt muscles fired up a little gentle stretch through the hip flexors. So just not big here. Just kind of awakening the musculature around the hips. And then slowly lower those hips back down to the earth. Take a couple windshield wipers. We'll do that one more time. So with the feet to the earth, knees pointed up, hands to the thighs. Draw the low belly in. Begin to peel the low back up off the floor. Again, low bridge. This time arms can reach to the sky as you start to rotate your wrists in semicircles. Keeping those hips lifted, those glutes turned on, opposite direction. Again, this isn't a big bridge here. This is a low bridge just to get things kind of integrated and going here. And then a few flexing and extension of the wrist, just turning the wrists up and back a couple times. And then the hands return to the thighs. You'll lower those hips back down. And this time, take a couple little windshield wipers. And then hugging those knees in towards your belly. We'll keep that right knee hugged in. Stretch the left leg all the way back out on the mat. Give that right knee a squeeze. And we'll take it across the body for a twist. Using the left hand to guide the right knee. The right arm can just stay where it is or reach past your right ear or reach out to the right. And then unwinding, take that right knee out to the right in a reclining tree pose. So the right knee is open. You've got the right foot along the inseam of the left leg, and you can reach your arms overhead. And then hug that right knee back in. Give it a squeeze. Bring the left knee in to meet it. And we'll keep the left knee hugged in and stretch the right leg out on the mat. So hugging that left knee in for a sec, and then we'll take it across the body for the twist. Left arm might reach past your ear or out to the left. Long line of energy for that whole left side body down through the right toes. And then unwind for that reclining tree, right? The left leg's going to open out to the left. Arms can extend overhead. Nice stretch here through the whole body. And hugging that left knee back in, give it a squeeze. Bring the right knee in to meet it. And we'll rock up to a seat. So as you find your way into your comfortable seat, you might grab your blanket again or a bolster to sit up on, just to get those hips a little bit higher than the knees. And we'll take the legs either in a cross-legged position, so you can take the feet hiding under the knees, or you can go a little wider, ankles kind of one right in front of the other. Doesn't really matter. It kind of depends on how your hip bones are situated. And we'll just take a few breaths here to circle the spine, starting small, maybe getting bigger as you feel the body opening a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe you'll stay small. And opposite direction for your circles. Just allowing the body to feel some movement in the back, in the hips. And finding stillness, bring your arms out like cactus arms, but turn the palms in toward you. So the thumbs are back, the pinky fingers are forward, the palms are facing one another, and just lift the chest. Lift the gaze. Draw the shoulder blades together on your back. Get a little bit more broadness, openness through the chest. Look over your left shoulder. And then through center and over that right shoulder. And then to center, inhale, both arms extend overhead. Get nice and long through the side bodies at the same time, grounding down through your sitting bones. And exhale, take a twist to the left. Left hand comes behind, right hand to that left thigh. Every inhale, you get a little bit taller. And as you exhale, maybe a little bit more twist. You could turn your gaze over your left shoulder, but you might decide to keep your gaze more neutral, kind of chin in line with chest. Next time you inhale, we'll unwind and reach those arms back overhead, extending. Extra breath here, really reaching. It can be in a big V, your arms, instead of a touch down. Big V is totally fine. And as you exhale this time, we'll twist to the right. Right fingertips behind, left hand finds your right thigh. Take an inhale and get longer. And as you exhale, maybe a little bit more twist. Turning the gaze or not. And slowly unwind. Reach your arms up as you inhale. And exhale, take your hands to the floor in front of your shins and walk your hands a little bit forward. So you'll start to get probably the sensation in the hip of whatever foot is in front. So you may not go very deep since this is kind of early in the class. You might notice that you're not getting too much depth here in this stretch. That's fine. Maybe shaking the head no. And walking your hands in, roll yourself up, lean back in your hands. Remember which leg's in front so we can recross them. Take the feet to the floor. Take a couple little windshield wipers here. And then take the feet wider and go bigger windshield wipers. So internally and externally rotating your hips. Nice and wide here, getting into that hip rotation and mobility of those hips. And then when you're ready, we'll take that cross-legged position with the other foot in front or on top. Inhale, lengthen the arms up overhead, maybe that big V. Find that length through the side bodies. Exhale the left hand down. Keep the right arm up as you side bend. Maybe turning your gaze up, maybe turning your gaze down. Nice deep breaths into that right lung. Next time you inhale, we'll lift everything back up. Both arms extend, and as you exhale, we'll take the right hand to the earth and side bend. Left arm reaching over. And then everything lifts again. And the fingertips find the floor as you walk your hands forward, getting into that other hip. So again, you might not go very far, and it's okay. Maybe a gentle shake of the head, no, or yes. Soft through the jaw. And you can pull yourself straight through into hands and knees, or you can walk the hands back out, spin the legs around, and find your way to your tabletop. So you might use that blanket to pad up those knees. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders or maybe slightly in front of the shoulders. Really ground through all 10 knuckle mounds where the fingers and the thumb meet the hand. And try not to collapse into the chest. So feel a lift of the chest, the belly drawing in. Those hands are grounded. Start to shift your hips left and right a couple times. And then shift back, hips towards your heels, and shift forward. So just exhaling to shift back and inhaling to shift forward. And the next time that you shift your hips back, you can separate the knees, let your big toes touch, bending the elbows. And the forehead can rest, or you can take the opposite hand to the opposite elbow and rest your forehead on your forearms. Rising back to hands and knees. Get those hands grounded, stretching the right leg back with the toes curled under. Draw the belly in and lift that right leg and lower, touch the toes. A couple of times, lifting the right leg and lowering. So lifting from the inner thigh here. Try not to open the hips. You're not going to get as much lift as you would if you were to open the hips up. So really feel that lift from the inner thigh. Toes continue to point down. Knee continues to point down. Do one more. And then bring that right knee back in. Inhale the right arm overhead and exhale, thread the needle. Come on down to that right shoulder, the right side of the face. The left arm could reach around the low back or can stay right there on the floor. Could also reach past the front edge of the mat. And we'll bring that left hand back to the floor. Use it to press yourself back to that hands and knees position. This time the left toes curl under, the left leg straightens, the toes are curled under as the leg stretches back. Let me try that again. And then we'll lift from the inner thigh and lower. Some integrity through the heart space, kind of lifting up through the heart space. Lifting and lowering. Not big movement, but intentional movement that feels like we're finding that extension in the hip. One more. And lower that knee back down. This time the left arm reaches up and overhead and we'll thread the needle. Come on down to that left shoulder, that left side of the face. Right arm can reach past the front edge of the mat or reach around the low back. And bringing your right hand back to the earth, use it to press yourself back to hands and knees. And we'll find a few cat-cow here, arching and rounding your spine with your breath. If the wrists are starting to get tired, you can always come to fists or fists with thumbs, kind of finding some stability. One more cat-cow. And then curl your toes, catch an exhale, and begin to lift your hips into that upside down V shape, that downward facing dog. Maybe starting to bend one knee and then the other. Walking out the dog, pressing through the floor. Shake the head yes or no. And soften the knees back to the earth and sink back towards child's pose. And again, maybe it's a gentler version of your child's pose with your opposite hand, opposite forearm, resting your forehead. And then slithering all the way onto your belly, propping up on your forearms for Sphinx pose. So elbows are coming underneath the shoulders. Try not to collapse here, so feel some space in the chest. Energize the legs, pressing down, pulling your heart through. Maybe exploring some of the neck range of motion here. Whenever we do any range of motion exercises or mobility, we want to work within a pain-free range of motion, knowing that yours may look different than mine. Sometimes stretching the throat makes me cough. And then finding stillness. 3 more breaths here in Sphinx pose. And then shift your weight into your right forearm. Begin to reach your left forearm or left hand forward, straightening your left arm. And then reach that left arm up. Place it back down and slide it back in. So just a little bit of mobility for the shoulders here. Shift your weight into your left forearm. Right arm reaches forward and lifts up. Right fingertips back to the floor. Rebend the elbow. Stretch your left arm forward. Lift it up. Fingertips back to the earth. Left forearm back to the earth. Finding that sphinx. Right arm scooches out and lifts. Lower the fingers. Bring it back to sphinx. Couple more each side. Belly's drawing in here. So feeling the back and the belly strong. Legs are energized. Just working in some shoulder mobility. One more each side. And then separate your elbows. Lower your head or your chin to your stacked hands. Wag your tail. Take 2 or 3 deep belly breaths here. And then we'll bring those hands by the chest and lift up into a cobra. And exhale, lower down. So 3 more, any height of your cobra here. So you can lift up just an inch up off the floor, very little bitty baby cobra, or you can come higher. 1 more. And finding your way back to downward facing dog. Baby stepping your feet all the way forward, taking your feet a little bit wider than hips width. Bend your knees a lot. Let yourself dangle here. Let the head go, the neck muscles go. If you need to be not upside down, bring your hands to some blocks or to a chair and keep yourself with your head at heart level. Bending your knees a lot here. Might allow yourself to sway. And then with the fingertips to the earth or maybe to your blocks, we'll heel toe the feet back toward one another and step the left foot back into a nice high lunge. So bending that front knee, kind of pulsing in and out of that front knee a couple of times, just kind of priming the pump, as they say, in that knee joint. I think that's the right phrase. And keeping that front leg straight, you might want to walk the blocks back a little bit, getting into a nice hamstring stretch here. Back heel is reaching toward the back of the mat, or you could step the back foot in a little bit and ground that heel. It's up to you. And then we'll rebend that right knee. You might need to slither that left foot back a little bit. We'll take a twist. So you can bring the left hand to the floor or to a block. You could drop the left knee to the earth, the back knee. And we'll bring the right hand to the right thigh. As you inhale, find length through the spine. And as you exhale, take a little twist to the right. You might reach your right arm up. And again, that back knee can be lifted. It's a little more fiery with that back knee lifted. A little more stretchy with the back knee lowered. And then the right hand comes down, lift the back knee if it's not already lifted, and step the back foot forward into that forward fold. So again, widening your feet a little bit. Maybe staying in this half lift position. Maybe folding all the way. Any options here for the arms? Maybe taking the hands and interlacing the fingers behind your low back for Yoga Mudrasana. Shoulder stretch. And then fingertips to the floor, to your blocks as you heel toe your feet back toward one another. And we'll step that right foot back into the lunge. So bending and somewhat straightening that front knee a couple times. And then we'll keep that front knee straight. Back heel is stretching back. Soft breath, soft jaw. And we'll rebend that left knee. Right hand will find the block or the floor. Left hand will find the left thigh. Inhale, find length through your spine. Exhale, take a twist to the left. Again, maybe that back knee drops. Left arm can extend to the sky for the twist or stay on your thigh. And exhale that left hand down. We'll lift that back knee. This time we'll step it back. Find a plank and lower the knees. Lower yourself down onto the belly. Inhale to pull the heart forward and up for a back bend, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Begin to baby step those feet forward, coming up halfway as you inhale. Lengthening your spine, soften your knees, draw the belly in, hands to the hips. Rise all the way to stand. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down a couple times. And then we'll find mountain pose, trying to find a nice neutral spine here. Nice neutral pelvis. And we'll drop the arms down alongside the body, and then both arms are going to reach forward and up without arching the spine. So all of this movement is happening in the shoulder joint, and the back stays very still. So that you might need to draw the belly in, or you probably do need to draw the belly in to help with this stabilizing. And we'll inhale to lift and exhale to lower. So a few more times like this. And again, if your arms don't get all the way overhead, because in order to do that, your back arches, then keep the arms more at an angle. Just working on the mobility of your shoulder joint. A big V is also fine. And we'll do one more lifting and lowering. And then we'll start to take them out to the sides. Turn the palms out. Inhale, the arms reach overhead. And exhale, flip the palms down and release the arms back down. So a few of these. Inhale, they reach up. And they float down. Inhale, they reach up. And again, they may not get all the way overhead into that kind of touchdown arm shape. They might stay in a bigger V. And they float down. A couple more. Using your breath. And then we'll take a stretch. Reach your right arm across the body. Catch it with your left elbow. And we'll stretch through that right shoulder blade. And you can look over your right shoulder. Over your left shoulder. And release that. And cross the left arm across you. Catch it with your right elbow. And maybe looking over the left shoulder. And over the right shoulder. And release that. Give yourself a little shake out here. We can bounce it out. Bouncing out the wrists, the ankles, the knees, shoulders. And then finding stillness. Notice that energy you created and moved through the bouncing. Inhale those arms up and overhead. Exhale, we'll fold. Come up halfway as you inhale. Plant your palms, feet walk back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. We'll step the right foot forward. Lower your back knee and bring your hands up to your front thighs. Your front thigh. There's only one of them. Energize your left butt muscle. Draw the belly in. So the hips are over your back knee, got kind of 90-degree angles in both knees. Arms extend overhead. Bring the arms out to cactus arms. Lift the chest. And then bring your right hand back to your right thigh and lift your left arm and take a little side bend over toward the right. Coming all the way back, hands back around that front foot. Lift your back knee and step it back. Lower the knees and lower straight down to the belly. Inhale to pull the heart forward and up for your cobra. Exhale, down dog. We'll lift the left leg and step that forward. Lowering your right knee to the earth. Hands come to the left thigh, coming up. Again, this 90-degree angle in both knees. So your body is over your back knee. Arms extend overhead. Draw the belly in. Lift the chest as you open the arms into cactus arms. And then bring the left hand back to the left thigh. Right arm extends overhead, and you'll take that gentle side bend to the left. Rising back up, arms extend, hands around the front foot. Find that plank and lower the knees. Lowering down onto the belly. Take the arms alongside the body. Turn your palms down. Inhale, locust pose. Everything lifts. And then focusing on the lowering down with control. Very, very, very slowly to lower. It's the eccentric phase. Once you find your way all the way back onto your belly, wag the tail. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale to lift into locust. Drawing the shoulder blades together on your back. And then with as much control as you can, lower very slowly and wag the tail. And bringing your hands back by the chest, press yourself back to down dog. And baby step the feet forward, come up halfway. Soft knees, strong belly, hands to your hips, rise to stand. And we'll turn a quarter turn to face the long edge of your mat. So you might want to block on either side of your mat as you step out wide. So as you step out wide, feet are going to point to the long edge of the mat. Again, we want to find that nice neutral pelvis. So you might shift the pelvis left and right a couple times, forward and back a couple times. See if you can find neutral. Reach your arms out like a T. Soften the tops of the shoulders. Flip your palms or reach your arms up. And then turning your right toes to face the short edge of the mat. That right hip's going to turn as well. And sinking that right knee into warrior two. Arms extend front to back. Inhale, both arms reach overhead. Right leg straightens and the toes turn back to the long edge of the mat. And we'll turn the left toes to face the short edge and sink into warrior two. Front knee bends. And again, inhale, both arms overhead, left leg turns back or left toes turn back. Exhale, right toes turn and sink warrior two. Inhale, both arms reach overhead, turning on that heel, turning the left heel to face the short edge of the mat and sink warrior two. One more time each side. Lifting up on your inhale, warrior two on your exhale. Lifting up on your inhale, And warrior two on your exhale. Lifting up on your inhale, this time we'll fold forward. Those blocks could come underneath your hands, or you could fold deeper. Toes face the long edge of the mat, really ground to the pinky toe sides of your feet. And we'll plant the right hand on the block, probably on the highest level of the block. We want it far enough forward so that you've got a long spine and your hand is going to be underneath the shoulder or slightly in front of the shoulder. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Inhale to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, rotate the spine to the left for the twist. You're grounding down through that right palm. Maybe the left arm extends to the sky, maybe not. And then unwind, and that left hand will find the block where the right hand was. So really grounding down, again, lengthening through your spine. Right hand will be on the hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take that twist to the right. Grounding down through the left palm, let that rebound you to extend the right arm up, or it can stay on the hip. Notice the difference between the two sides. And exhale the right hand back down. Turn your toes out, bend your knees. The hands can stay on your blocks. Or you can walk your hands up to your thighs and find goddess pose, arms in cactus arms. Reach up, stand up. So if the hands are on the blocks, bring the hands to the hips, stand up, and find that X shape. Bring those hands back to the hips. Turn your heels back out so the toes are facing the long edge of the mat. This time we'll turn on the right heel. Right toes face the short edge of the mat. You might want that block. Arms extend in a T. Reach the right fingertips forward, and that right hand's going to find a block, the shin. Left arm, swing it down, forward and up. And again, down, forward and up. Last time, swing it down, forward and up, and it'll stop at 12 o'clock for triangle. Gaze can be down or straight ahead, or tuck your chin and turn your gaze to your top thumb. Bending your right knee, rising back into warrior two, re-straighten that right leg. All 10 toes, face the long edge of the mat. Inhale those arms up. Exhale to fold. Fingertips to the floor, to your blocks, or you can fold all the way in. And come up halfway, soften your knees, bring your hands to your hips, squeeze the elbows together, rise up. Spin on your left heel. Left toes face the short edge of the mat. Belly draws in, arms extend. Reach the left fingertips forward and you'll find that block or that left shin. Right arm swings down, forward, and up. Slow circles. One more, and we'll keep that right arm at 12 o'clock for triangle. And soften your left knee and rise back into warrior two. Straighten the left leg. All 10 toes face the long edge of the mat. Inhale those arms up. Hands to the heart. Bend the knees and just step the feet together, finding your mountain pose. And take a few breaths here to notice. If you're not at the short edge of the mat, go ahead and bring yourself there. Inhale those arms up. Exhale to fold. Step it back. Find that plank. Lower the knees and lower down. Inhale, find that back bend. Exhale, straight down onto the belly. Wag the tail. Several belly breaths here. And then we'll make our way onto the back. So you can just flip over like a pancake, or you can come up through hands and knees and make your way all the way onto your back. Hug those knees in. Taking your left foot to the floor, interlace your fingers under your right knee and straighten the right leg. You could also straighten the left leg. You could also use a strap here around the sole of the right foot. My strap is way over there, so I'm going to just use my hands. You could use, if you don't have a strap, you could actually use a blanket. That works. It's not quite as pretty, but it does work. Or a towel or a belt, a tie. And then we'll rebend the left knee and cross that right ankle over the left knee. You might stay here, or you might grab a block and place your left foot up on the block to go a little edgier. Or you can lift that left foot all the way up for reclining pigeon. Breathing smoothly, gently, relaxing the muscles of that right hip. Releasing the left foot back to the floor, uncross the right. Take a couple little windshield wipers. And then we'll bend the left knee, interlace the fingers underneath the knee, stretch the leg towards straight. Maybe using your strap here or any of those other props. Maybe stretching the right leg out. Notice if you're tensing up the jaw or the forehead here, can you soften through the face, keeping the sensation mostly in the back of the leg. And rebend that bottom knee, crossing your left ankle over it. You can stay here, or you can bring a block under the right foot for a little bit gentler, or you can lift that leg and thread the needle for reclining pigeon. It's all reclining pigeon. Just variations of it as far as intensity. Releasing that right foot to the earth, uncross the left, grab a block. We'll press into the feet, lift the hips, and slide that block right underneath your sacrum, the lowest part of your back, probably on the lowest level of the block. Let your spine, let your sacrum, your body, rest on the block. And you could stretch one or both legs forward to stretch the hip flexors, but notice if your low back pops up off the block. If so, it might be better to bend one knee and do one at a time. If you're doing one leg, switch it out and do the other. And rebending both knees, press into the feet, lift your hips off the block, move it out of the way, walk the soles of the feet together, let your knees open in a reclining butterfly. Keep the block nearby. Don't throw it away from yourself. You're going to need it for one more thing. And press the soles of the feet together to bring the knees together. Keep the knees together. Walk the feet away from one another so you're back into that constructive rest. Reach your arms out like a T, and we'll bring the right arm up and over to meet the left. So just kind of getting into the upper back here. And then lowering back down. Bring the left arm up and over to meet the right. So the low back, the hips stay right where they are. It's just the upper back. The shoulders, the head could lift. Just going back and forth here. Lifting the left arm over to meet the right. And lifting the right arm over to meet the left. Getting some mobility in that thoracic spine. Try not to let the hips move or the hips twist. Keeping this in that upper back. One more each side. And then keep the legs where they are. Grab your block, place it underneath your head. So the base of on the lowest level, the base of the block is at the base of your skull. Arms can be in a T or in cactus arms, and we'll just roll on the back of the head from ear to ear. Just massaging out the base of the skull. Notice as you roll your head in one direction, the other upper shoulder, maybe the neck on the other side might tighten. Can you soften? And then find neutral. Gently press the back of the head into the block. You might feel your upper back kick in just a little, the neck muscles, but keep the jaw soft and then release that. One more time, press the back of the head gently into the block. Feel the neck muscles turn on, upper back, and then release that and then roll on the back of the head again. Notice if the opposite shoulder, the opposite side of the neck tenses up or does it stay soft? And then we'll move the block out of the way and lower the head back down to the earth. Hug those knees in. We'll take that twist, letting both knees fall to the left. Right arm reaches out to the right. And slowly bringing those knees back up, maybe a little rock on your low back. And when you're ready, letting both knees fall to the floor to the right, arms where they're comfortable. Slowly unwinding any last pose that would make your practice feel just right. Finding your way into your Shavasana using any props to make it as comfortable as you need it. Maybe a blanket under the head, maybe a bolster under the knees. Remember, you could do Shavasana lying on one side or in constructive rest, inner thighs touching. Wherever you are, let your body release completely. Let go of any control of the breath. Let yourself rest and receive most important pose of the day. very gently begin to bring an awareness back to your breath. Maybe a nice, smooth, deep breath and sigh it out. One more like that. Finding a little movement, fingers, toes, whatever would feel good. Gently reawakening. Transitioning into the rest of your day. Slowly. Maybe rocking on the low back and eventually rolling to your favorite side. And then pressing your way up. Take a moment. Hands can rest in the lap or at heart center. As you notice any effects of this practice, the gifts that you give yourself every time you step on your mat. And I thank you for joining me, sharing your practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in you.